Hey guys, it's Carrie Tetsu here, and I'm here to talk about a second body we created. Most of you know that we worked on the pregnancy body for quite some time, but most of you don't know that we actually made a second body because not everybody wants to have a baby and be pregnant. And we did this because I believe that there was an opportunity to move on to the next generation of avatars. Right now, with the body you have, you're actually wearing 3 layers of mesh and walking around with hundreds of thousands of polygons on your body. And this tends to lag Sims. So you can imagine when you go to a dance club, you don't see people right away. It takes a long time for people to render. It's because they're wearing so many polygons. So we had an opportunity to change that and make a lighter avatar. In addition to that, we were able to apply an entirely new way of using alpha. So right now, when you wear clothing, you have to individually click on parts of your body to alpha them out when you wear an outfit. And that's very tedious and cumbersome. And we eliminated all of that. We made it far easier for you to basically do 2 clicks and get your alpha on. And another thing we did is we actually created an animated vagina and it's part of the body. So if you ever want to have virtual sex, you don't have to go out and buy an attached vagina. It's part of your body and it's entirely based on mesh. So it looks like it basically looks like it's part of you and does not look like it's attached to you. The other thing we did is that you can see here, one HUD. That's it. There aren't multiple pages of HUDs or HUDs to sift through, just one HUD and one body. So it's very, very, very easy to use. So I'm going to walk through exactly how this works step by step. And I really believe this is the next generation of avatars. And I hope that you enjoy this. All right, here I go. So I'm going to go through the body pretty quickly. It's a pretty intuitive interface, and I want to show you the different parts of the HUD and run through this so you know. And here we go. So if you click shine, your body is shiny. It doesn't affect your head because I'm actually wearing a different head. We're only selling the body. It doesn't come with a head. If you click world, you kind of look like a glowy robot. I'm not quite sure why we have this. Other bodies do, and I just wanted to make sure we included that because maybe people like it. We also have bump, and bump basically, if you go close in high-res settings, it looks a little bit more like skin. We also have a button called bone reset, and the reason we have bone reset is we moved bones where the vagina is to make an animated vagina, and we had to use the Second Life rig, and so we move bones where they don't normally go. And sometimes when we animate in different ways, the bones come out of place. And we have bone reset. You just toggle this to get your vagina back in exactly where it belongs. I'm not going to talk about alpha mode. That will be a different section. Nipples I can't really show on YouTube, but these are just different kinds of nipples. Some are pointy, some are a little bit wider. The next thing we have is something called breast cover, bum cover, panty cover, and gloves. And now those things are very useful if you're wearing painted on, baked on mesh clothing. So you can see here, I'm actually wearing a baked on mesh, painted on bra and panties. I textured this myself in Cinema 4D. And what's really nice about this, and with any kind of painted on clothing, is that we can toggle these buttons so they look like the clothing fits naturally. So I'm going to turn around and show you. Right now the underwear looks like it's going way in my butt, but if I turn, let me turn panty cover off. If I turn bum cover on, you can see my butt is out a little bit, so it doesn't look like the underwear is all the way up my butt crack. The next thing, I'll turn back around. It's a very similar thing for panty cover. If I turn this on, I don't look like I have camel toe. Very similar thing for breast cover. Here it looks a little bit strange, but if I was wearing a painted on top, it would look like the clothing was lying on my body and it wasn't leather like painted on. It looks like more it would be lying on. So you would still have some cleavage, but it would look like the shirt was on me across my body. Now gloves, let me put myself into this pose. and let me hide my nails and show you gloves. If I turn this on, it hides my nail beds. So if I'm wearing painted on gloves, I won't look like I have nail beds on. So I'll turn this off, put my nails back on. Next thing we have are stockings. So stockings are an additional mesh layer, very simple, that we included, and we did that because we just thought it would be really nice to have stockings that you can tint and wear at all times. So here you can modify the transparency, here you can change the color, here you can tint, so you can pick a different color, and if you hard press in this white square you save the color. And next thing we have are different foot heights. So when you wear different kinds of shoes, you can change your feet to fit the different heeled shoes. We also have ankle lock, so it keeps your feet straight. We also have the option to remove your toenails. So I'm not the one who thought about that. I had a friend who was playing with this body, and she said that I should give people the option to remove their toenails in case they decide to mesh a cyber leg. They can do that, but they need to have their toenails, the option to remove their toenails, so there wouldn't be toenails hanging around the robot leg. So I thought that was pretty funny. Next thing we have here are different types of fingernails: short, medium, pointy, long and flat, or cut off, and coffin. And last, we have the option where you can actually apply a color to your nails. Same with toenails. Now, one really nice thing here is if you individually click a nail and then you click a color, you can see here, it only applied to the ones that I didn't click off. So you can see I have blue and purple. Same thing with the feet. If I click my toes off, it should apply color to everything but my toes, and it did. All right, so help just basically gives you a help note card. Buy avatar credits gives you a teleport where you can buy credits to use in case you want to use avatar credits. That's in another video. And that's it. So next we'll go over the alpha mode, and we'll talk about wearing clothing, and we'll talk about wearing different BOM layers, and we'll talk a little bit about the vagina. I can't get into that too much because it's YouTube, but I'll show you as much as I can. Okay, so let me get my avatar animated here. So one area that is entirely new, and once you understand it, it's super easy to use, but it's so new that people are unsure how to use it. So I'm going to walk through this very carefully. So here we have basically 3 alpha modes. There's top, there's bottom, and there's arm. We're only going to talk about top and bottom right now, and then after that we'll talk about arm. So alpha modes, there are basically 3 states to them. There's the solid state, there's the blend state, and there's the mask state. And you really don't see much of a difference right now, but I'm going to wear a system layer and show you the difference. So let me go back to solid, and I'm going to go here and wear an alpha layer called sleeve dress alpha. So I right click and add that, and you won't see anything change again, but there actually is something on. So if I go back here and I click top, you can see the entire top is hidden. The wonderful thing about this is that I don't have to individually clip off parts of my avatar. All I have to do is right click, wear the alpha layer, and then change my mode. There are 3 modes because one is a blend option, and I'll show you that in a minute. So this is the mask option, that's the solid, and this is a blend. You can't really see the difference in the blend option because our mask doesn't have a gradient. But if you're just wearing clothes, you want to stick to the mask option. So if I go to my bottom, you can see that. So if you look, if I locate this dress and I right click and I add this dress, there's nothing else I have to do. This is all I have to do. I don't have to get my avatar into a pose and individually click each body part. This is pretty revolutionary for people. It's so much easier to use. All the clothing designer has to do is make an alpha system layer for each clothing item so it's custom to what you're wearing, which makes it so much better for the user. And that's honestly one of the major reasons why I made this body, is addressing this issue. I could not stand going through every time I wanted to change clothing and basically alphaing out chunks of my body. So I'm going to do it one more time. We're going to go through this again just so you understand. So watch this. If I keep this dress on and you can see, and I put that on, there's clipping. See that? You can see in my elbow. See that? So I don't have to go into a menu and individually hide my elbow. All I have to do, I'm wearing my alpha layer, which is right here. I go to top and I turn my mask on. That's it. That is it. Nothing else. Nothing else. So why are there three states? Why is there solid? Why is there blend? And why is there mask? Let me take this off and show you. Okay, I'm going to take off my alpha layer and I'm going to wear a different kind of alpha layer. I'm going to wear a belly transparent layer. I know the belly transparent layer is for the mother, but it's a really good example to show you the other kind of mask. So right now you can see top, there's a hard edged hole in my belly. But if I basically move to the if I use the blend mode, you can see it has a very nice transparency. So if somebody wants to make a gradient mask and they don't want this hard circle, it gives the creator the option to do that. It's so, so nice. That's how we were able to actually have a transparent belly for the pregnant lady. And all I'm doing is I'm just wearing a transparent layer. That's all I'm doing. I'm wearing a transparent layer and I'm playing with these buttons. There's nothing else I have to do. So the arm is a little bit special. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but when Second Life made the Second Life UV map, they put the arm on one map, which means that oftentimes when you receive a texture, it textures the left arm the same as the right arm. And there were body creators that basically went around this by creating additional mesh arms, and we actually had to make one additional mesh arm. So when you make a tattoo, you can have one tattoo on your left side and one tattoo on your right side. So I'm going to show you that next. So if we go here, I'm going to go into a T-pose, and we're just going to talk about the arm now. Right now, my arm is set to solid, and I'm not wearing any additional layer on my arm. I am only wearing, let me go to my skins. I'm only wearing a BOM full body skin, nothing else. But if I wanted to wear a tattoo on this arm, I can go in here, I can right click, and I can add arm tattoo. The other thing I can do is if I wanted a full body tattoo, I could wear a full body tattoo and then add an arm BOM layer and then add my arm tattoo. So first what I'm going to do is basically make this arm gray. So I do that. I'm going to mask mode. The next thing I'm going to do is add a BOM arm layer. So it looks basically the same. And then I'm going to add an arm tattoo. Now you can see the tattoo is on my right side and not on my left. Now, if you don't have an arm that matches your body, all you have to do is take that off, leave the tattoo layer on, and it's right there, and it's not on my left side. So anybody who makes textures and is a creator will understand and really like this solution, because it gives them the option to basically have a texture on the left arm that is different than a texture on the right. And we solved it with the additional arm. So I hope that explains it. I know it's a little confusing at first, but trust me, once you get it, it's so much easier for you to use. Okay, I'm going to now talk a little bit about some deformers. We actually included deformers for free. Oftentimes people like to have very small shoulders and larger hips. So if I right-click and add smallest shoulders, you can see my shoulders will look very small. So the nice thing about this body is that we can actually add deformers or use some existing deformers and modify the shape. I'll take that off. All right, so I'm going to talk a bit about the vagina and I'm going to wear a HUD, but I can't go through the actual vagina animations, but I'll talk about it so you can see that this really is like a real person. You'll feel like a real female. So I'm going to right-click and add this small little HUD. Let me close this one. So it's called Sex Teaser. Again, I can't show this on YouTube, but I can talk about it. So right now we have the option to open the vagina or close the vagina, and what that literally does is it opens up your vagina or it closes it. So if you run any sex animation, you can literally keep your vagina open while having sex. The other thing we have is a teaser, which reses a pose ball, which allows you to have virtual sex with your partner. So again, what makes this body really kind of revolutionary, or at least the next generation of bodies, is no other body has this. No other body has basically a vagina that's part of the body. You have to go out, buy one, and this is seamless. It's part of you always. And Roughhouse is going to be offering many more animations, sex animations, and other creators I'm sure are going to hop on board and do that. So I think basically it's a really great body for this next generation of avatars in Second Life. So I'm going to detach this, go back here, and I think that's pretty much it.